Your girl Kamala Harris, she got off her knees and came on the show. Not my show, but she went on somebody else's show. And it was a catastrophe. I can't believe these people. Like, is nobody coaching her? Like, did she not go over this before she get on TV? She's gone on a tour for her new book. Who in the will read her book about what? And let me tell y'all a little secret. Most people have ghostwriters. It's not really Kamala Harris really sitting down and really thinking this through and writing a book and giving her emotions. They have a ghostwriter that write their entire book. Many of these people probably have never even read the book. So she's going out here to make some money, right? And it gets worse and worse every time she talks. Now, the most embarrassing thing I have seen on the internet so far, and the biggest hypocritical statement that I've ever seen from Kamala Knee-Pad Harris, is this very thing she's about to say. How do you still speak in circles and with word salads after what you've been through, Kamala? Roll the clip.
If his reaction to that, since this part of the book has come out, if you've had any reflection on that, or I guess I'd ask you to just elaborate on that a little bit. It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
With you running as, you're the first woman elected vice president. You're a Black woman and a South Asian woman elected to that high office, very nearly elected president. To say that he couldn't be on the ticket effectively because he was gay is hard to hear.
No. That's not what I said. That he couldn't be on the ticket because he is gay. My point, as I write in the book, is that I was clear that in 107 days, in one of the most hotly contested elections for president of the United States, against someone like Donald Trump, who knows no floor, to be a Black woman running for president of the United States and as a vice presidential running mate, a gay man, with the stakes being so high, it made me very sad, but I also realized it would be a real risk.
Hello.
No matter.
I can't believe these people. Like, is nobody coaching her? Like, did she not go over this before she get on TV? The Fed has finally dropped interest rates, and that's great news for American homeowners. Expenses have been major burdens on the family. Wages have been flat. Prices keep climbing. And for many, the only way that you can make ends meet is leaning on credit cards. But that cycle has high interest debt, making it hard to stay ahead. If you're a homeowner, I want you to call my friends at American Financing right now. Interest rates have dropped. Many homeowners are seeing options in the low fives compared to credit card charges rates that are in the 20s or higher. There's an easy path to see how you can fully put your hard-earned equity to work for you. American Finance can help you pay off that expensive debt, free up your cash flow, and keep your budget under control. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving customers, on average, $800 a month. And if you start today, you may even be able to delay your next mortgage payment. So take control. Call my friends at American Finances today, 866-889-8010. That's 866-889-8010 or AmericanFinancing.net/Tatum. Rachel Bulldagger Maddow got her on there and said it's hurtful that he couldn't do it because he was gay. She gets on and say, that's not what I said. Pretty much he couldn't do it because he was gay. Like, what you said? You just said it'll be a risk for a gay man to be on your campaign. What are you saying? Let her finish.
How I've been an advocate and an ally of the LGBT community my entire life. So it wasn't about So it wasn't about any prejudice on my part, but
that
we had such a short period of time, and the stakes were so high. I think Pete is a phenomenal public servant. And I think America is and would be ready for that. But when I had to make that decision with 2 weeks to go, and maybe I was being too cautious, I'll let our friends, we should all talk about that. Maybe I was. But that's the decision I made, and I, as with everything else in the book, I'm being very candid about that.
Yeah.
With a great deal of sadness about also the fact that it might have been a risk.
Will you consider?
What does the man with another man going through the back door of his house every night gotta do with whether you are a good candidate or not? I never understand these virtue signaling leftists. They say one thing out of this mouth and then they live a different lifestyle. Why are you saying that it don't matter that he, you know what I'm saying, that he got people driving down the wrong way street at midnight? You say you don't care, but then you just explain that it wasn't worth the risk to put him out there like that because you don't stand by what he does. You claim you don't think America accepts that. Quit lying. You just thought he wasn't a good candidate. And you definitely wasn't a good candidate. It don't matter if you had somebody else on your ticket. You wasn't gonna win. I almost said Jesus, but you're gonna always win with Jesus. But Jesus wouldn't be on your ticket anyway, because you probably going to hell. But anyway, let's get on The View. Kamala Harris on The View. Let's see the other lies she was spewing. Roll it.
If you have to pin it down to one thing, what was the primary reason, do you think, that you lost?
Because you suck.
There are many factors, I think, that played into the outcome of that election. But I think probably one of the biggest in my mind is we just didn't have enough time.
You didn't have enough
time. We didn't have enough time.
Oh, yeah. Well, you didn't.
And, one of the reasons I wrote the book is this is unprecedented. Think about this.
Yeah.
That there's a race for president of the United States. The current sitting president is running for re-election. 3.5 months from the election, he decides not to run. The sitting vice president then takes the mantle, running against a former president of the United States who had been running for 10 years.
Excuses.
With 107 days until the election.
Excuses.
And by the way, another piece of what is unprecedented and a bit historical about that race, it is the closest presidential race in the 21st century in terms of the outcome.
Wow. Yeah. Say that again.
Hold on. Real quick. I'm going to be quick. I know y'all want me to be quick. Ma'am, when Joe Biden was running, you were his running mate. You act like Joe Biden was running for president and you weren't even associated. He ran, they cheated, he won. You were on that ticket. He was the president, he was running again, and you were still on the ticket. That's like J.D. Vance saying, I didn't have enough time. If Donald Trump was running for office, J.D. Vance has been with him when he won this election. Let's say Donald Trump's running for office again, which he can't, which I wish he could because I still vote for him again. And somehow he dropped out and J.D. Vance took the mantle. He wouldn't lose a step because these two people were a part of the administration together. He would just pick up where Trump left off at. Ma'am, you was trash. You got on TV and you was trash. That's why I wrote the clip.
To say over and over again, he's got a mandate.
And that's part of why I wrote this book, because history will talk about this race. Yeah. It is part of American history. And it was important to me that when history is written, that my voice be present about what that experience is.
Biden, were there glaring warning signs that when there's only two options to vote on that you missed going into Election Day?
I write about it, as you all know, in the book, and I know that's probably the first chapter you read is my chapter on The View.
She out here pimping.
But it really,
maybe the other word.
The book is about.
She ain't pimping. She doing the opposite of a pimp. You know who the pimp? Okay, she doing that one. She not the pimp. Y'all know what I'm saying. God, I love you too. Roll the clip.
A reflection, and that day in that interview, for me, really was symbolic of the issue. It did not create the issue, but it was symbolic of the issue, which is that I'm a loyal person, and I didn't fully appreciate how much people wanted to know there was a difference between me and President Biden. I thought it was obvious. And I didn't want to offer a difference in a way that would be received or suggested to be a criticism. And in the campaign, full time I was pointing out the differences.
Well, if anything, would you have done
There you go.
something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
My theory of the case was we need to bring costs down. We're going to extend the child tax credit.
You can't jump past that. Hold on 1 second. Just a few seconds. Give me 3 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. Give me a minute. 1 minute. Ma'am, you just told the world. This is why these people suck. You just told the world that your loyalty was to securing the reputation of Joe Biden and not the American people. You mindless woman. You just said, well, I'm loyal and I didn't want it to look like it was a difference between. You don't matter what it looked like, fool. The American people want to know that there's a difference. But you loyal to keeping his reputation and you're lying to the people to do that. That's why you lost. Roll the clip.
We're going to have Medicare cover home health care for people, including people in the sandwich generation who are raising young children and taking care of their parents. It was about we're going to take on price gouging, bringing down costs. And I thought I was making the point. And I realize now that I didn't fully appreciate
That
how much of an issue it was.
Yeah, that President Biden was deeply unpopular. I did realize that. And during your appearance, and you write about it, you say
too.
everything about my appearance on The View was going well until it wasn't. And if you recall, you were here 28 days before the election, and I asked you if there was anything you would have done differently than President Biden during the past 4 years. And you said, quote, there is not a thing that comes to mind, end quote. You write you had no idea, you just pulled the pin on a hand grenade. In the moment, I knew. The Trump campaign weaponized your answer against you, my question. And some, including James Carville and Jake Tapper, point to that answer as a turning point in your candidacy. Do you think that moment tipped the election?
No.
Good, because Sonny doesn't want to take the blame.
There's kind of a confessional happening here. No. Exactly.
So is that the strategy for Democrats going forward, fighting back more in the mode of Trump, going into the gutter? What is the strategy for Democrats fighting forward?
None.
I think there's some work to be done, which includes one of the things that I think the 24 election made very clear is the American people want their immediate needs met. And, we paid a lot of good attention and time on issues like the infrastructure bill. If we had done it differently, and I think we should have considered doing it differently, we would have instead, in the Build Back Better bill, put the family plan before we did that. Mm-hmm. And so we would have done affordable childcare and paid leave and addressed some of the more immediate needs of people. So going forward, I think that has to be an imperative. We will have the plan for what needs to happen in the long term because those are the most intractable issues, but we need to meet the immediate needs of the people. Second, I'd say, look, I'm kind of just, I'm a bit done with the punditry around everybody looking for a messiah, the savior of the Democratic Party. There are so many superstars in the party.
Yes, that's true.
And
No, it's
we're doing
not.
very, very good work. And it is important, I think, that we see that instead of having these endless conversations about who is the one, understand there are many.
Yes.
And similarly with the issues.
Yeah.
What is the one message that Democrats need to have? There are many, but I would frame them in the context of the immediate needs of the people.
Yeah,
and then, I guess my last point is this.
Yeah.
You got to fight fire with
Yes,
fire.
sis.
Will you run again? Will you run again?
Going
Will you
forward,
run
that's
again?
what-
You like to run again?
that's not in my immediate
Not
focus.
right.
I'm doing my book tour, and please everybody come out. I'm going to a lot of cities.
Spend money. I'm doing a fundraiser for my own pocketbook, so I'm not even talking about that. Just say no. I'm not interested in it right now. So I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. These people are so stupid to me. It's crazy. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, girl. Wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. That's deep, bro. No, nothing she said made no sense. We have a whole bunch of rock stars. Like who? Who do the Democrats have as a rock star? Pete Booty Snitch? Nobody's voting for that dude. Ain't nobody voting for a dude that's laying with another dude. How you gonna go to a world leader and you on the bottom? Charlie, forgive me. God, let's keep it real. You go to a world leader and they pull up on you and you the one on the bottom of the stack. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody respect you. You up under another man and you think you're going to be leading America. I am going to hold the line. But you let another man take you. Okay? Just stop. Stop it. That's crazy. Do what you want to do, bro, but you lose points when you doing that. And you all open with it. I got my boyfriend, 2 dudes kissing and stuff. Like, stop. Booty snitch ain't popular whatsoever. Maybe Shapiro is a little more popular, but these guys are Donald Trump. Like when you go and watch Charlie Kirk's memorial service, you realize who should be running the country. Because if the Democrats had done a service like that, it'd be nothing but celebrating George Floyd, fentanyl Floyd. It'd be them talking about America's races. They wouldn't have had Jesus nowhere in the conversation. I don't care if you don't like white people at all. Some of y'all black pastors are those people. You're probably going to go to hell if you don't change your mind. But at least you should be voting for Christians. Vote for the Christian people that lift up the name of Jesus at an event with the whole cabinet there. Okay, let's see this midnight goon endorse Mamdani. I think we got a clip of Kamala endorsing Mamdani. Let's put that out there for the world to see. Roll it.
The sort of talent spotter in the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
What do you think of him and his candidacy? And what do you think of mainline Democratic shyness and agitation about the prospect that he's going to win?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, he's the Democratic nominee and he should be supported.
Do you endorse his candidacy?
I support the Democrat in the race, sure. But let me just say this. He's not the only star. I know that, he's in New York, and I know New Yorkers think they're the center of the world, and here we are in New York having this interview.
It is the biggest city in the country.
And I love New York, as the saying goes. I really do. But, there are people like Barbara Drummond in Mobile, Alabama, Helena Moreno in New Orleans. They're all running for mayor, too, and they are stars. So I hope that we don't so over-index on New York City that we lose sight of the stars throughout our country who are right now running for mayor and many other offices.
Okay, all right. Shut her up. Mamdani is running for mayor of the largest city in the country with the largest economy in the country. I believe that New York's economy is greater than LA's economy. It is the most consequential mayoral race. What are you talking about, you cackling fool? And then you endorsing who? All you Negroes out there. Pay attention to what this woman's saying. She not endorsing the black man. This is how they play y'all. That's why black people, I love me and I like the way God made me, but y'all be embarrassing me. This woman go out and y'all voted for a white man to be the president. They get her in there and she's not black. She got to be black and South Asian or whatever they be adding to it. She can't just be black. Y'all know she ain't just black. But then she go on, and the first black female vice president have no connection to no black people, ain't putting no black people on to nothing. She's now the president. Who she picked? The whitest dude in American history. She could have picked a black man, but she didn't. She could have married a black man, but she didn't. But she wants y'all to be black, blackity black, and you should like me because I'm claiming half black. And now that a race is going on in New York City, she don't endorse the black man. She endorsed the communists. Y'all Negroes better straighten your act up and get your head out of your butt. Because a lot of y'all at that church praying to Lord Jesus every day and you voting for devils. And then you overlooking the man of God because the color of his skin. But you want to pick the devil that's a black man. All right. Or a woman that ain't even. Now one of these politicians ever been real black. Barack Obama's half black and she half. They ain't never put a real black person in there, will they? That's what I thought. One more. And this is I almost said something, but I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, y'all. I can't say what just went to my mind. Lord, help remove that from my mind. I would never say that in public. I said it would have been funny, though, but it wasn't right. Kamala Harris. This is the, what do they call it? This is the needle that broke the camel back. Is that the one? Oh, I'm talking about going through the eye of the needle like the Bible say. It's harder for a rich man to get into heaven as the camel through the eye of the needle. But anyway, that's probably what straw that broke the camel back. Straw. I was looking for that. Straw. But I had another analogy that was crazy. And it had something to do with her past life. But let me get away from that. All right. Roll the clip.
And right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant.
Speech on the lips.
We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up. And perhaps it is because his threats and the way he has used the weight of the federal government to take out vengeance on his critics is something that they fear, and I get that. I understand why they do. We've seen the demonstration of it.
These people are going to go to hell for the evilness that they're perpetuating on God's green earth. They're evil. After Charlie has gotten assassinated, and for them to still continue to push the idea that Donald Trump is a dictator, they want him to get killed. They want more radical people to come out and say, we have to stop this now at all costs. They know that they're radicalizing people with this language, but they do it anyway. He's used the weight of the government to attack his political enemies. Not one of Donald Trump's enemies have gone to jail yet. What enemy is he getting? His vengeance is on illegal immigration? His vengeance is on crime in D.C.? His vengeance is on making sure we're profiting in geopolitical transactions? What is his enemy that he's getting revenge for? The American people? To make sure we're sustainable economically? These people just say stuff with no evidence. And this is why we have conflict and chaos going on.